All right, today we're graphing quadratics in factored form. So remember, to graph a quadratic, we need 3 points, the two x-intercepts and the turning point. Okay, the zeros of a function are roots, and the vertex is the turning point of the function. We are going to utilize the same steps we did to find the roots and the turning point from yesterday's lesson. However, the only thing we're going to add is we're going to plot them, okay, uh, on our coordinate grid. If you are unable to graph them due to being on a laptop, just state the roots and the function, and you'll be doing them in a different lesson later on. Okay, so use the zero product property to find the roots of the function. So again, we're going to do this first step. So step one is we're going to separate our three roots, our three factors here. So 1/2, we're going to set that equal to 0. Our x minus 1, we're going to set it equal to 0. And x plus 3, set that equal to 0. And solving, we know here that we're going to disregard this because x 1/2 does not equal 0. And on our middle equation, we're going to add 1 to both sides. X is equal to 1, so our first root is 1 comma 0, and then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So x is equal to -3. So our second coordinate for our roots is -3, 0. So these are our roots. So these then will be plotted on our coordinate grid. So we start at 0, 0. The first coordinate is 1 comma 0, so we go over 1 and neither up or down, so we have 1 comma 0. And second, we're going to go 3 to the left for -3 comma 0. And that is our two x-intercepts, our two roots, where the parabola is going to cross the x-axis. Next step, step number 3, we're going to, it is step number 3 this time, step 3, we are going to find the midpoint of those two coordinates. You can probably, when graphing, you can probably see that we're going to end up with -1 as our x coordinate, but we always want to double check. So we're going to take our two x values from our roots and we're going to add them up and divide by 2. It's a -3. So we get here 1 plus -3 is -2. Divided by 2 happens to be -1, like we thought. So far for our turning point, we have -1, but we just need to find that y value. And we do so from step 4. We're going to take that -1 and we're going to plug it into our coordinate grid here and solve. Coordinate grid, I'm sorry, our function, okay, our factored function. So f of -1 is going to be 1/2 times -1 minus 1 times -1 plus 3. So wherever x is, we're going to plug in that -1, and then we go ahead and solve, because remember, we're finding our y value. So we have 1/2 times -1 minus 1 is -2, and -1 plus 3 is +2. So we have 1/2 of -2 is -1 times 2, and we get -2 as our y value. So -2 is our y value here. So -1, -2 is our turning point. That's our vertex. And you go ahead and make your graph here. And that is your parabola. Don't forget the arrows at the end because we know the parabola continues to go on forever with no stopping it.